Let's get started with our first major story. Bryce Mitchell has finally broken his silence following his devastating loss to Silva at UFC 314. Mitchell posted an emotional and heartfelt video to his Instagram, opening up to his fans about how he feels after the tough defeat. In the caption of the video, he wrote, "Y'all are so amazing. What an honor to entertain y'all. It's okay to be disappointed. I'm not offended. It was not a good night for me, but I can say I truly gave it my all." He didn't stop there. In the same caption, he encouraged his fans to be resilient and to apply the same mindset to their own lives. "I encourage all y'all to do the same in whatever fight you're going through." In the video itself, Bryce appeared calm, but his voice carried emotion, the kind of raw honesty you don't always see in post-fight interviews. Speaking directly into the camera, he said, "Hey, I finally made it back to my room. I want to thank everybody for their support and let y'all know I'm doing just fine. Thank God he protected me. I didn't lose my teeth. I don't got no broken bones. So I feel good about that." Bryce then reflected on his performance. "I fought as hard as I possibly could. I couldn't have fought any harder. I could have fought smarter. I'm going to go make some adjustments. But I mean, he put me to sleep. I had nothing left to give." He was honest, humble, and real about his defeat. So I'm happy about that, knowing that I tried my best, but I've got to get better. That's just the lesson learned here. Mitchell also gave thanks to those who supported him, not just physically or emotionally, but spiritually. "I really want to thank everybody who prayed for me, especially the people that fasted for me. Y'all mean the world to me. I honestly can't believe how much support I've gotten. I've gotten thousands of messages. If I don't message you back, just know I love you. I've never had this much outpouring of support. It's been a crazy week." He concluded with this heartfelt message. "I thought I was going to win. I really believed it, but I was wrong. I'm just gonna keep fighting because that's all I can do. That's all we all can do. A, I'm healthy. B, I love y'all. And C, thank y'all. Take care. Bye-bye." Now moving on to our second major story, UFC President Dana White has shared his thoughts on Bryce Mitchell's recent loss to Silva. Following UFC 314, Dana was asked about Mitchell's performance and his submission defeat in the second round. And as always, Dana didn't hold back. He gave credit where it was due and also looked ahead to what's next for some of the UFC's top stars. Here's what Dana had to say. "I'll tell you what I'll say about Bryce Mitchell. You know what happened. He's a grown man. He stood his ground, came out and faced the media several times, came in here and fought. And you know, I'm sure there were a lot of moments leading up to this fight, including tonight in the cage, where he felt like his back was against the wall." Dana went on to emphasize how much respect he has for Mitchell's attitude and mental toughness, but he stood up like a man and he fought and did his thing. While Dana didn't go into the technical breakdown of the fight, it was clear that he admired Mitchell's heart, willingness to compete, and the way he owned up to his loss. There was no blame, no excuses, just an honest performance from a fighter who always gives it his all. But the post-fight press conference wasn't only about Bryce. Dana also addressed what's coming next during International Fight Week. And although he didn't confirm any matchups or names just yet, he definitely hinted at some big plans. When a reporter asked if Khamzat Chimaev was being considered for a title shot, Dana responded with a grin. "That would be fun. Not a confirmation, but definitely not a denial." That simple answer sparked even more speculation about Chimaev's future and who he might face next. And speaking of future title fights, Ilia Topuria recently made headlines by claiming he was promised a title shot at 155 pounds. When asked about it, Dana replied, "We're working on it. We got a lot to do. He's one of the biggest stars in the company. If we had something planned, we would have announced that already. So while nothing's set in stone just yet, it's clear that major matchups are in the works behind the scenes. An International Fight Week could be the perfect stage for some huge announcements. Stay tuned, because Dana White isn't done cooking up surprises." Next up, Alexander Volkanovski is back on top, and he's hungry for more. After defeating Diego Lopes in an impressive performance and becoming the new UFC featherweight champion, Volkanovski is already eyeing a quick return to the octagon. The Aussie warrior is not one to rest on his laurels. In a post-fight interview, Volk said, "If I'm healthy, I'd be willing to defend my belt against Movsar Evloev in July. That's right, just moments after reclaiming his crown, Volkanovski is already talking about defending it again within months. His drive and determination continue to separate him from the rest. When asked about potentially fighting in Guadalajara, Mexico later this year in September, Volk responded, "September? If everything's good, I'd probably like to go sooner than that, to be honest." Volk hinted that September could end up being his second fight of the year, not the first. So maybe, if I'm good, I get the fight in July or September. We can maybe fit it in. Movsar, you know what I mean. Volkanovski made it clear that physically he's in decent shape after the fight with Lopes, even if it wasn't a walk in the park. If they want to do that quickly and I feel good, maybe a quick turnaround with Movsar. I don't have busted hands. We'll see. Like I said, that was the plan. Bang, bang, bang. But I didn't expect to get hit this much. And he gave credit where it was due. Credit to Diego. He's tough. The featherweight champ was also asked once again about the GOAT debate in the featherweight division. Does this win officially push him ahead of the legendary Jose Aldo? Volkanovski answered with his trademark humility. That's not up to me. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. I've got this new title reign, and I'll just make it hard for people not to choose me. He added, Aldo is an absolute legend. He's done great things. I know I've done great things. I've fought absolute killers. The resume I have is pretty impressive. Volk acknowledged Aldo's long list of title defenses, saying, Aldo's had so many defenses. I'd love to get that many. But yeah, having 3 wins over Max, that's bloody huge. Do I need so many defenses? I don't know, but I will get the defenses and then we'll see. He ended the discussion respectfully. Again, Aldo, I don't like talking about it. I've got so much respect for him. I say he's the GOAT, out of respect. I'll let other people decide who they think. And in a classy moment after the fight, Islam Makhachev congratulated Volkanovski. On Instagram, he posted a photo of Volk with the caption, "Congrats, legend." And on X, formerly Twitter, he wrote, "Congrats, Alexander Volkanovski. Great comeback. Real champ in sport and life." Moving on to another shocking and bold statement, Renato Moicano is placing the blame squarely on Conor McGregor for Michael Chandler's devastating loss to Paddy Pimblett. That's right. According to Moicano, Chandler didn't just lose to Paddy because of skills or strategy. He believes Conor McGregor is the real reason behind Chandler's poor performance. In a post-fight interview, Moicano didn't hold back. He stated, "The fault of Michael Chandler looking so bad against Paddy is Conor McGregor's fault. He wasted his prime years waiting for the money fight. This isn't just a jab at McGregor. It's a full-on accusation that Conor ruined Chandler's career trajectory." Moicano believes that by sitting around and waiting for Conor, Chandler sacrificed his momentum, his rhythm, and his competitive edge. Chandler had been campaigning for the McGregor fight since 2022. The matchup was hyped relentlessly on social media and even featured on The Ultimate Fighter, but after years of delays, injuries, and endless speculation, the fight never materialized, leaving Chandler in limbo. Moicano went even further, sarcastically suggesting that Conor McGregor deserves a title shot simply for the damage he caused without even stepping into the octagon. They should give Conor the title next. Just based on that, he broke the man without even fighting him. It's a harsh take, but one that resonates with many fans who followed Chandler's journey. When Chandler finally returned, it wasn't against McGregor. Instead, he faced Paddy Pimblett, a rising star, but a fighter many expected Chandler to dominate. Instead, Chandler looked sluggish, offbeat, and mentally disconnected. A shell of the explosive fighter we've come to know. Moicano argues that years of inactivity, emotional buildup, and the psychological toll of chasing a phantom fight left Chandler completely unprepared. Chandler waited too long. That fight with Conor was a trap, and now he's paying the price. Moicano's comments quickly caught fire on social media. Some fans agreed with him, saying Chandler should have stayed active and focused on the division rather than putting all his hopes into one mega fight. Others argued that Chandler made a smart business move, but that it simply didn't pay off. Regardless of where you stand, one thing's for sure, Renato Moicano just lit a fire in this ongoing drama, and it once again raises serious questions about Conor McGregor's influence, both inside and outside the cage. Now moving on, Diego Lopes has officially broken his silence following his tough loss to Alexander Volkanovski at UFC 314. Despite coming up short, Lopes showed incredible grace, humility, and determination in his response. Shortly after the fight, Diego took took to X, formerly Twitter, to share a heartfelt message with his fans and supporters around the world. In his post, he wrote, "Always with my head held high and a smile on my face. I fell short last night. I failed in a few things. I'll get back to work, improve, correct the mistakes, and move forward." It was a message full of maturity and accountability, qualities that fans have come to admire about Diego. He didn't make excuses, he didn't point fingers. Instead, he took responsibility for his performance, acknowledged where he went wrong, and promised to come back stronger. His fight against Volkanovski was no walk in the park. He went toe-to-toe with one of the greatest featherweights of all time, and although he didn't come away with the win, many fans and analysts praised his toughness, resilience, and spirit. In fact, even in defeat, Diego earned the respect of thousands of new fans. His willingness to engage, his durability, and the heart he showed in the octagon reminded everyone why he's one of the most promising fighters in the division. He ended his post with a message of gratitude and perspective, saying, "Thank you all for your support. As I always say, nothing happens without purpose." This one line summed up Diego's mindset perfectly. Even in loss, he's looking for the lesson, the growth, and the greater meaning behind it all. For Lopes, this was more than just a fight. It was a chance to measure himself against the best, to learn where he stands, and to level up. And judging by his words, he's already planning his next move. Not out of frustration, but with clarity and purpose. Fans flooded the comments with messages of support, encouragement, and admiration. Many reminded him that even legends lose, but it's how you respond that defines your legacy. And if Diego Lopes' response is anything to go by, he's not going anywhere. He'll be back, better, sharper, and even more dangerous. Because as he said, nothing happens without purpose. Now moving on, tensions boiled over backstage as Paddy Pimblett found himself in the middle of not one, but two heated altercations. One with Colby Covington, and another with harsh words aimed directly at Ilia Topuria. It all started shortly after the post-fight press conference. As fighters began heading out, Paddy reportedly crossed paths with Colby Covington, and things quickly got tense. According to eyewitnesses, the two exchanged verbal jabs, and Paddy didn't hold back. He told Colby straight to his face that he's just trying to stay relevant and is only latching onto bigger names in order to keep his name in the headlines. But the backstage drama didn't end there. In fact, it was only the beginning. Paddy then turned his attention to Ilia Topuria, and he unloaded. With full confidence and plenty of attitude, Pimblett claimed he'd do the exact same thing to Topuria that he just did to Michael Chandler, referring to his dominant and shocking win. "You might remember," Paddy said, you mean guys that are 2-6, remember that? You're a scrub, you're a fraud, what are you fighting so quick for?" Paddy wasn't done. He mocked Ilia further, saying, "Mr. Irrelevant, trying to stay relevant. The Whopper, what was that about?" Just came over and shouted, "Didn't he, lad?" Cause he saw the camera. Tried to say, "Oh, you fight scrubs." Like, lad, didn't he say Chandler was 2-4? Isn't he 2-4 in his last 6? He's an absolute bum, lad, nearly 40, trying to stay relevant by jumping on me when the cameras are rolling. Paddy even recalled a previous run-in with Colby, saying, "I seen him at Power Slap the other week, walked right past him, stared at him, and he looked at the floor like the little boy he is. But when there's a camera, suddenly he finds his voice." According to Paddy, the entire room saw what happened. He got terrorized, you know what I mean? We all terrorized him, got told to leg it, tried to keep shouting, got told to shut up the wall. Then came Paddy's final burn. To be honest, I forgot all about him, literally, or I would have mentioned him in the cage. I don't call him hand sanitizer boy anymore. Now he's just elite. But again, I forgot about him. That's how relevant he is. Paddy closed with a warning. "I'm ranked higher than he is at lightweight. I'd love to welcome him to 155, but apparently he's sitting out waiting for a title shot." Well, what I did to Chandler, I'll do exactly the same to Ilia. As I say, anyone can get it, and that's going to happen. And finally, Alexander the Great Volkanovski reclaimed the featherweight crown tonight at UFC 314, further cementing his place as one of the greatest fighters of all time. After a back-and-forth war, he left no doubt. He's still at the top, so now the big question is, what's next for Alexander the Great? And what about that stack of cash wrapper Drake is taking home after betting $545,000 on the legend? Early in the fight, it looked like Volk was on his way to an early finish, but Diego Lopes showed heart, hanging tough and landing heavy shots of his own. The fight was entertaining, competitive, and after 25 minutes of war, it was clear Volk was getting that belt back. UFC President Dana White reacted to the performance at the post-fight press conference. Dana said, "I thought he looked incredible tonight. I don't ever remember Volk not having a good chin. He's really not that old either. I was just surprised Diego didn't use his reach more, throw more jabs, stay on the outside, but overall, both guys dug deep. There's no doubt Volkanovski is one of the best ever. Guys like him, like Pereira, they're always ready to fight and do whatever it takes." Dana also said he'd love to give Volk a title defense in Sydney, Australia, something he's never gotten to do. Meanwhile, Islam Makhachev reacted by posting, "Congrats, legend." Before UFC 314, Volk said he wanted to fight Movsar Evloev if he won back the title. The Russian is undefeated and ranked number 4. Max Holloway and Diego Lopes are number 2 and number 3. But there are also rumors that the UFC may want newly signed Aaron Pico to face Movsar instead. Evloev reacted to Volk's win by saying, "You're a true champion, now let's see what your word is worth." After the fight, Volk said his hands were in a lot of pain. He admitted, "My hands bloody hurt, I must have landed some big shots." Even in round 1, during the ground and pound, he thought he might get the finish. Diego, however, did a great job defending takedowns in the later rounds. Volk said he wants to return in 3 months if his hands aren't broken. He's hungry, he's ready, and he's still the king.